The storm had passed, but the air in the barn hung heavy and silent. Water still dripped from the tin roof, each drop echoing like a broken clock. In the doorway stood Thomas Garrett, his weathered hands gripping a shotgun. His eyes were fixed on the figure huddled in the far corner, a woman, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Her calico dress was torn, streaked with mud and something darker, something that looked terrifyingly like blood. He took a cautious step forward, the floorboards groaning under his weight. "Who are you?" he demanded, his voice a low growl. "What are you doing on my land?" The woman flinched, pulling her arms tighter around a bundle she cradled against her chest. She looked up, her eyes wide with a fear that seemed to swallow the dim light. "Please," she whispered, her voice trembling like a leaf in the wind. "He's coming." Thomas frowned, his grip on the shotgun unwavering. "Who's coming?" Ati asked, scanning the dark corners of the barn. "I'm not playing games, lady." "You're trespassing." The woman shook her head frantically, tears welling in her eyes. "He'll find us. He always does." Suddenly, a faint cry, small and fragile, came from the bundle in her arms. Thomas froze. It was the sound of a baby. His hardened expression faltered for a second. A baby? Out here? In the middle of nowhere? After a storm like that? He lowered the gun just a fraction. "What's going on?" he asked, his tone softening slightly. "Who are you running from?" The woman's gaze darted toward the open barn door, toward the long, muddy track that led back to the main road. "He's the devil," she sobbed, clutching the infant closer. "He won't stop until he has him back." Before Thomas could process her words, the sound of an engine rumbled in the distance, growing steadily louder. A pair of headlights cut through the twilight, sweeping across the fields and heading straight for the barn. The woman gasped, a raw, primal sound of terror. "It's him," she choked out. "He's here." Thomas snapped back to reality. He looked from the terrified woman and her baby to the approaching vehicle. Every instinct, honed by a lifetime of solitude and self-reliance, screamed at him to stay out of it. This was not his fight. He could force her out, let her face whatever was coming for her, and go back to his quiet life. It was the safe thing to do, the smart thing to do. But then he looked at the tiny, innocent face barely visible in the bundle. He saw the mother's desperate plea, a plea that went beyond words. He had a choice to make, and he had to make it now. The headlights washed over the barn entrance, pinning them in a harsh, unforgiving glare. Thomas raised his shotgun, the cold steel a familiar weight in his hands. He didn't know who this woman was or what she'd done. But one thing was certain: no one was coming into his barn tonight without a fight. The engine cut out, and a heavy car door slammed shut. Silence descended once more, but this time it was filled with a terrifying promise of violence. What would you do if you were in his shoes? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.